Now is Democratic Congressman Jim Himes of Connecticut. He also serves on the House Intelligence Committee. Sir, first question, should the U.S. change the strategy against ISIS after the massacre in Paris? We heard the president today saying that there would not be an advance of any type of boots on the ground or an uptick in military strategy. Wouldn't people think that what's taken place now has been a failing strategy?
Well, honestly, there hasn't been much of a strategy to date. I mean, remember how it's evolved, right? A year and a half ago, we were going after Assad, and then we were going after ISIS, and then we were doing both, and the Department of Defense was going to arm moderates, which were going to go after Assad and go after ISIS, who are going after each other. What we haven't done, or what we haven't done until very recently, of course, is think about the end game here, which is the refugee problem, ISIS. They get worse until the Russians, the Turks, the Europeans, the Americans, Jordanians, everybody involved there comes together and says, here's what a post-Assad Syria looks like. Now, when you have the end game, when you know what that looks like, now you can start talking about things like how you get together to actually militarily defeat ISIS. But as long as we're kind of fighting on both sides of a Syrian civil war, we're going to produce the results that we've produced to date.
We know that President Hollande has called the Paris massacres an act of war. President Obama hasn't gone that far. Do you think the U.S. and Paris is on the same page? What's your opinion? Is this an act of war?
Well, I do think it's worth being careful about language. So people are characterizing this as a terminal clash between civilizations. We need to remember that we're talking about psychopathic evildoers here that we probably don't want to elevate to the level of being at war with NATO. However, that said, we also need to be conscious of the fact that no amount of airstrikes will eliminate these guys. And if we're serious about destroying them, there will be a ground force, a very substantial ground force, which ultimately ends them. Now, we don't want to go there, obviously, until we get that end game that I'm talking about. Frankly, as Americans, we don't want to go there until the Congress has a debate about exactly what we want to commit to that. But whatever you want to call it, until we militarily wipe this group out, they will be active.
Congressman Jim Himes of Connecticut. Sir, thanks for your time.